Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Amy, and I'm here to read another book with you. Today's book is called Why Worms, and it's written by Gillian Davies and Robin Kramer. Moms and dads, this book is an easy reader recommended for the age level of 4 to 7 years if you're looking for a good book for your kiddos. So boys and girls, remember, Miss Amy does not own the rights to this book. I just own the book, and I'm so thankful that I get to read it with you. Let's crack open the spine and read today's book, Why Worms. Do you like worms, boys and girls? I used to like them a lot more when I was younger. Now, I don't even want to touch them to go fishing. But the fish like the worms, don't they? So, do you think that worms are going to be our main character? Or do you think by looking at the picture on the cover that it might be this person? So, our context clues are worms and this boy or man right here. What's he doing? Let's go ahead and get into the book. Andrew had a drawing book, a big, fat, enormous drawing book. It had lots of "please fill me up" pages, so Andrew drew on them with his fat red crayon. Boys and girls, Miss Amy does not like that word. I do not like the F-A-T word. I think it's a yucky word. I know it's in this book a few times, but I'm going to recommend you don't say it because it's not a nice word. I love that the character in this book's name is Andrew. My big brother's name is Andrew, and I love him very much. I also know there's a special little boy named Andrew who listens to these books and is probably going to watch it. So, hi, Andrew. Miss Amy loves you. I love you, Elena, too. Mwah! All right, let's keep going and see what we're going to learn about Andrew. I think he might be our main character. Let's see. He drew cars, cats, meow, and cowboys. He drew kings and queens and astronauts. He drew horses, hills, and helicopters. Miss Amy's being silly. That's okay. I don't mind being silly with you. But most of all, he drew worms. Lovely, wriggly, wiggly worms. Why worms? Asked his mom. Because I like them, said Andrew, and they're easy. Boys and girls, do you like to draw something easy? Miss Amy likes to draw snails. Snails, butterflies, dragonflies, and ladybugs. I like to draw flowers, too. So Andrew drew worms, long, lean, curling ones that wound all over the pages. He drew tiny, squished up ones in the corners. He drew worms on their backs, on their fronts, and upside down. Miss Amy turned the book upside down because Miss Amy's too old to stand upside down. We'll leave the upside down to Silly Sally, who likes to walk to town upside down, backwards and upside down at that. There were worms so thin they tangled up like string, and worms so fat, there's that yucky word again, they filled a whole page with one wriggle. Just one. My hair keeps doing something silly. It's driving me cuckoo. Andrew drew worms in cars, under cats, meow, and in cowboy hats. He drew worms that rode horses, crawled over hills, and waved out of helicopters. He drew and drew until there were no worms left, and the big, fat, yucky word, enormous drawing book was full. Oh no! I don't like it when my drawing papers are full. It's kind of like reading a book and being all done with it. I was just thinking, Miss Amy's been reading chapter books too, and I've been reading about the Indian in the cupboard. I finished last night. I can only imagine if he put all those worms in the Indian in the cupboard's cabinet. Ew, cupboard, excuse me. There'd be lots and lots of worms everywhere. Andrew looked around for somewhere else to draw, but there was only the wall. The beautiful white bedroom wall. Boys and girls, are we supposed to draw on our bedroom walls? I know I used to have a little one who liked to draw on the walls. Here's a tip for you moms and dads. If you have a little one who likes to use a marker on your wall, if you'll get Expo marker and just cover where they've drawn, you can wipe it off so easy. And then of course there's rubbing alcohol and magic eraser markers. No, magic eraser. It's made by Mr. Clean. It's a little white spongy thing. But boys and girls, we should not write on our walls. That's a big no. So he drew an especially big happy worm. It weaved its way along by Andrew's bed and peeped around the corner to smile over his pillow. Oh, goodness. Will our main character, Andrew, get in trouble? What would your mommy and daddy do? I know I wouldn't be very happy if my children did that. Let's see. Come and see my happy worm, shouted Andrew. But his mom didn't like the worm at all. In fact, she was angry. Arr! She made him wash the worm away with a wet cloth. Have you ever had to clean up a mess you made? We should always clean up after ourselves. But we should never write on the walls. Never, never, never. So Andrew was sad, and he drew sad worms on his pillowcases. Oh my goodness, Andrew, what are you doing? We shouldn't draw on our pillowcases either. I mean, sometimes moms and dads might give you permission, but you definitely need to ask permission before you do it. I don't have any tips for that ones, moms and dads. Bleach, but then you'll ruin the color. I don't know. Maybe OxyClean would work on it or something. I don't know. Or shout it out. That's what my mom always would say. Shout it out. His mom didn't like the sad worms either. She took away his crayon and his pillowcase to wash. Crayon is a hard word for Miss Amy to say. Think the stain's going to come out? Time for bed, she said. So Andrew had to dream of worms instead. Good thing there's bubbles in there, Beth. We might be seeing a lot more of Andrew than we want to, that's for sure. The next day, Andrew wanted to draw again. We're going shopping first, said his mom. She handled that a lot better than I probably would if my child came in and woke me up and said, I want to draw. Woke me up to draw. But at least he asked before he did it this time, right? And Andrew's mom bought him a new, big, fat, enormous drawing book with even more pages and an especially blue crayon. I just said it right earlier. Crayon. That's right. That's one of those words Miss Amy has a hard time saying. But Andrew was fed up with worms now, so he drew What do you think he drew? He must have thought, I'm done drawing worms. They get me in trouble. But it wasn't the worms getting him in trouble. It was where he was drawing them, wasn't it? Spiders instead! Ew! Although I think spiders would be more fun to draw than a worm. The end. Thank you, boys and girls, for reading Why Worms with Miss Amy today. And the lesson we learned is before we draw, we should ask Mom and Dad. That way we won't get in trouble and we won't lose our crayon. Thank you so much for sharing another book with me, Why Worms? And I look forward to reading with you again tomorrow. If you're listening or watching this before bed, good night. Sleep tight.